Okay guys, I've been torturing myself today by playing Pit Fighter on the Amstrad CPC, and now I'm going to torture you all with this very video. So, enjoy. Anyway, Pit Fighter, a 1990 arcade game from Atari Games, and only feature of note really was its use of digitised live actors and its violent content. But even at the time in the arcades, this was looking pretty knob. There were hundreds of other beat 'em ups, some around since the mid-80s, that made the gameplay of Pit Fighter look just pathetic. This was a terrible arcade game, but it has some novelty and kitsch value for, you know, like I said, one of the earliest appearances of digitised characters that you can control, and also its bloody violence and what you can do in the game. Now, first impressions on this version, we've actually got quite a decent title screen there with some very cool animation. That looks pretty good. And the music as well, music's pretty cool and funky. Matt Furniss there doing a good job. Now, Jonathan Broggie, the programmer, I did a search for him to see what other Amstrad games he did. Well, this was his first and last Amstrad game, and you're going to see why very shortly. So let's kick things off here. We're going to choose to be Ty the Kickboxer. He's, well, in the arcade he's the most well-rounded player you can play as. Not too slow, not too fast, and damage-wise, again, he's in the middle. Right, here we go, and feast your eyes on this, guys. Oh, Jesus. Yep, this is absolutely fucking dreadful. And I apologise, guys, now that there's going to be some swearing in this review, I would imagine. But this is absolute horseshit. And certainly one of the worst arcade conversions to the Amstrad ever, if not one of the worst games ever on the Amstrad. And we've already defeated our first opponent in, what, 40 seconds? What the fuck is going on there? I'm lost for words, I really am. I mean, obviously I've played this game through, recorded it and come back to the commentary, but even watching it back I'm still just in utter disbelief. So that 2 colour graphics. Alright, we've got 3 colours there, blue, red and black, not including the white. Christ, the Spectrum version had more colours than this. In fact, this is actually a Spectrum port. It's absolutely identical to the Spectrum version, even with the title screen and stuff. You can tell it is, with the even the animations on the title screen are running a lot slower than the Specky version. So they've just ported this across and adjusted the code to emulate it on the Amstrad. I mean, Christ almighty, they've got scaling in this game. Scaling? I mean, isn't that just a bit ambitious? Oh dear. Right, let's get into this review then and get it over and done with, because I'm not going to commentate for the rest of this game. You've still got 40 minutes worth of footage left. So, right, okay, this binary turd of a program is so poor that if you met it in the street, you'd give it 20p for a cup of tea. I mean, the graphics and images are only slightly less offensive than being forced to watch a perpetual loop of images featuring the Queen Mother's corpse being rogered by an Alsatian. Yep, that's what I think. So you control these Etch-a-Sketch dildos as they lurch around the screen looking like they're having a seizure. They're more jittery than Charlie Sheen on a speed and cocaine drugs binge. I mean, the sprites look like they've been drawn by an epileptic 3-year-old. I mean... Scaling. Again, scaling. I'm coming back to scaling again. Why? Why even attempt it? I mean, if you knew this game was going to be so poor anyway, just have a static screen, small sprites, colour them in like the Commodore 64 version or whatever. And yeah, half the time you moves don't even connect. Half the time when you knock them to the floor, you're supposed to be able to sort of like kick them and knee them when they're on the floor. You probably saw a few seconds ago there, I was trying to elbow him on the floor. Nothing was happening, even though I'm stood in the same place as you normally stand to attack them while they're on the floor. But no, the computer decides it's not going to do it. So yeah, you know, obviously as well, it's so laggy, so the controls are completely unresponsive, and it's just potluck if you manage to pull off the move you've been hammering the key in direction and you want to pull off. And the game is just chugging. Now bear in mind guys as well, you would have paid $9.99 on cassette, probably 15 quid for this on disc back in what, 1990, 91. And that's a lot of money back then. That's a lot of pocket money for a kid, you know. That's like the equivalent of like 30 quid these days. And imagine saving up all that time to get this arcade conversion. You've seen it in the arcades. You're easily swayed by the cool digitised graphics and the outrageous violence, and you want to play it on your home computer. And you've saved up all those weeks and months, your pocket money to buy this. You load it up and this is what you get presented with. I'd wager that games like this are the primary cause of teenage depression. I won't go any further than that though. Right, plus points. Alright, the music's really good. That's some really good funky music, I'll give it that. It had some nice animation on the title screen, and I suppose there's a good decent range of moves available. You can punch, you can kick, you can attack opponents on the floor, you can do flying kicks, you can just jump normally, you can do defensive blocks, you can pick up and use objects and smash them over their heads and stuff. No, I'm struggling now to think of anything else. Just look at that blood splatter effect there. God. I mean, the only thing the arcade game had going for it, apart from the stupid violence, was the digitised graphics. I mean, there's no way a home computer is going to compete with that. Why even bother? But hey, that's Domic for you. Domic would cash in on anything they could. And they wouldn't care what they put out. Any other games company back in the day, Ocean, probably even newest Gold, if they'd seen this end product, they would have told the programmers to go back and rewrite it, or just not even release it. No, Domic, in my book, they're a bunch of scumbags. And they still release games as awful as this. Even Super Space Invaders, well, I'm not even going to look at that one, I don't think. I mean, how can you fuck up Space Invaders? Jeez, that was released at the same time as this game as well. One of the last releases by Domic, thank God. I hope they went out of business. Knowing them though, they probably got bought out and made millions for themselves. Bastards. Alright, right, we're on match 4. I'll just tell you what happens in the rest of the game, I suppose. There's about 8 opponents in total. You get a grudge match against yourself after every 2 bouts, and it's just a quick knockdown contest. But in bouts basically you're fighting against yourself. About 9, just yourself, a clone of yourself. About 10, it's 2 clones of yourself. Woo, inventive. And then, strangely enough, about the final bout, again, it's just against yourself. It just seems a little bit tougher. Takes more energy off you, I think, or whatever. So it's a complete waste of time. God help you if you decide to watch the end of this video, because you've still got over half an hour left of footage. Oh yeah, I suppose another plus point, I suppose you can have 2 players fighting against each other. There's a 2-player option. I couldn't be asked to try out the other players that you can play as. Was it Buzz and Kato? I'd probably imagine the sprites are exactly the same. Only the special move might be slightly different, but I bet they just use the same thing. I can't be asked to go back and check and try again. I don't know why there as well. That sprite seems to be sort of flickering and flashing white and disappearing. God knows why. Oh yeah, just look at those guys at the side there and in the background. Just might as well just remove them, because it's only just slowing the game down even more. They just look absolutely pathetic. What else? Well, that's the only positives I can find. I mean, you guys only got like 2 frames of animation and 1 frame of animation for your attacks. And you'll probably complete this on your first go as well. I did. I do use all my lives, but if you don't manage to do it the first time, you probably will do after a couple of goes. That's if you're such a masochist that you'd actually play this more than once. So yeah, this is probably the worst arcade conversion on the Amstrad. Well, maybe there's a couple others that are as bad. Altered Beast springs to mind. And you know what, guys? It actually makes me want to do a compilation video of the worst arcade game conversions to the Amstrad, or just the worst games ever on the Amstrad. This has piqued my interest. I might actually do that over the next month or something like that. That'll be interesting to take a look at and see. I'm sure Pit Fighter will probably rank in the top 5 or 3, because there are worse games than this that exist, believe it or not. So, alright, I'm going to give this a final score. I'm going to give this 2 out of 10. 2 out of 10, only because of the music, the animation and presentation and the title screen, and, well, there is a rudimentary beat 'em up here, and there's a range of moves available, but that's it. 2 out of 10. Thanks for watching. Hopefully I'll swear less in my next videos, and well, if you stick it out to the end, well done. You may have some problems though, mentally. God bless you. Anyway, thanks for watching, and see you next time. Cheers. Bye.